Hi, my name's Zoe D'Antonio, and I'm here to teach you about fireflies, how they operate, and how they can help society. Fireflies live in temperate to tropical conditions and tend to stay near warm, humid, and standing water. Fireflies need a moist environment in order to stay alive. This makes places like Florida and Georgia ideal. Bugs also thrive in fields, marshes, and forests. They normally remain where they were born. Fireflies are a member of the Lampyridae family and are a type of bioluminescent beetle. Their diet mainly consists of snails and worms. But the larvae, which are young fireflies, consume forest litter until they grow into their carnivorous appetites. An interesting fact about these beetles is that when attacked, they shed drops of foul-tasting, chemical-filled, poisonous blood. This causes many animals to avoid fireflies and is known as reflex bleeding. Fireflies use their most admired trait, their light, to communicate. They use flashes to defend territory, attract a mate, and scare away predators. Even the firefly's eggs glow. Scientists believe that in the egg, fireflies communicate with their unique language of light. How is this light possible? What causes it and how does it work? ATP, which is a temporary store of energy, calcium, a substrate called luciferin, and the enzyme luciferase must all be inside the light organ of the firefly. Oxygen is then introduced to the mixture, which triggers the reaction between all the ingredients, creating light energy. Nitric oxide must also be present, for it is the key that opens the door to the light organ, allowing the oxygen to enter and therefore trigger the reaction. What happens without nitric oxide? The oxygen molecules would then rise to the mitochondria on the surface of the light organ. In essence, no light is produced. Nitric oxide is present. It bonds to the mitochondria instead, allowing the oxygen to enter and produce light. Fireflies can turn their light on and off as they please by stopping oxygen flow. Firefly's light is 100% energy efficient, meaning no energy is wasted unnecessarily as heat. A fluorescent light bulb emits 90% of its energy as light and 10% as heat. An incandescent bulb emits 10% of its energy as light and 90% as heat. A lot of useful energy is wasted in light bulbs. ATP, also known as adenosine triphosphate, and as previously mentioned, is a temporary store of energy inside the mitochondria of all cells. It is composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus atoms. As you can see, in ATP, there are 3 phosphorus atoms in the molecule, each in the center of an atomic group called a phosphate. They are linked to one another by chemical bonds called phosphate bonds. The energy of ATP is locked in these bonds. If humans can recreate this energy artificially or find a substitute for it, we could create an imitation of firefly's light, saving much needed energy. The remaining ingredients needed to create firefly's light are already in reach. All we have to do is research and experiment. However, fireflies are disappearing. We don't know why, but scientists believe it is because of development, logging, light pollution, and pesticides. In America, fields and forests, fireflies' prime habitats, are being paved over. Many areas had lightning bugs, sometimes so many that there were firefly tours, but since human traffic has increased, firefly numbers have decreased. Light pollution impairs the lightning bug's ability to communicate. This makes it impossible for fireflies to complete tasks essential to their survival. Fireflies are important, not just because they are fascinating to watch, but also because they help us improve our world. For example, fireflies may even help us cure cancer. Every animal has numbers of ATP in its cells, which is more or less constant. In diseased cells, the number of ATP could be abnormal. Chemicals from fireflies are injected into diseased cells. They can detect changes in cells that can be used to study many diseases, including cancer. Also, luciferase and luciferin, which light up in the presence of ATP, are used in electronic detectors that have been fitted into spacecraft to sense life in outer space. How can we help? The essential beetles are vanishing, but we have the power to save them. Prevent the extinction of fireflies, turn off outside lights at night, avoid the use of pesticides, create water features in your landscape, plant trees, don't overmow your lawn. Talk to your neighbors and friends. Fireflies have the ability to help us save millions. They have the ability to answer questions. They have the ability to save lives. Let this not just be a science project, but a call to action. Save these twinkling insects before it is too late.